to see you again.
Good to see you.
When was the last time you were here?
I think I said a year, but then I heard May. But
So,
a while
what does
ago.
that mean? Yeah, a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, how have you been?
Good.
Yeah.
I've been good. How have you been?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, everything seems like it's going well over here.
Now, you know this movie, you know what you got a hold of here, right?
Yeah, it's big, isn't it?
Yeah. It's gonna be like a jumbo big and a blockbuster big as well.
Thanks. I've been like shaking for like 2 months straight. You just
as an actress, does it make any difference the degree of success of the film, the project you're working in, or is it just all about the artistic expression?
I've never really paid attention to the box office or to how much money any film makes before. I mean, this one people keep reminding me, so now it's there, but it's not normally something I care about now.
Now, are you in? You get a little piece of this? You get a little taste of this?
I don't think so. I was hoping so, because I was like, yeah, a franchise, and then I was like, oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
There's three books. The film is based on a book, and there's three of these books, right?
Yes.
Will there be 3 films, do you think?
I think so.
Oh, buddy.
I think it might be headed that way.
Oh, come on. I mean, yes, sir. You will be picking out property on the moon.
That's the dream.
Yeah. Now, your life's changing already, right? The movie hasn't even opened, but you have some premieres and stuff, and people know that you. So, what's it like when you? What's the core audience for this film? Who's it going to be?
I think lots of young girls. Really, it's a movie for everybody. It's one of those.
Right. When they see you,
they scream.
Oh, they do. They scream. Yeah.
And one almost fainted.
With overstimulated, overexcited, and they.
I don't know what it kind of makes you look at yourself. Yeah. we do these autograph signings, and there's all sorts of different reactions. Some of them start screaming before they even make it to me, and then run away, and I'm like, okay.
What was that? Then, so they'll scream, they'll approach you, and then
they work themselves up. And my personal favorites are the ones who are decked out head to toe, Hunger Games, Katniss gear, and then they get in line, and then they just shut down. And they just kind of go into shock, and they look miserable, absolutely miserable to be there. Won't look at me, won't talk to me, and just kind of do this. And if it weren't for their full gear, I would think they hated me. Like they didn't even want to be there. But you know that they just work themselves up. They're like, I'm gonna meet him, I'm gonna meet him, I'm gonna meet him. And then they get in line and they just shut off.
Wow. See, now, did you ever think in your lifetime that you would have that extraordinary effect on strangers, really, for God's sakes?
No. It's a weird thing to get a hold of. Yeah.
And when you see the film, it's impossible to see the film and see what they see on the screen.
No,
because you're
I'm
looking
a troll.
at you.
No, I'm a troll. I hate myself whenever I watch. The movie is great, but their biggest mistake was me.
All right, let's go back to... Let's go back to You Hate Yourself.
Okay. What are you writing?
No, nothing. We have some time here tonight. I'd like to see.
Are we going to list all the things I hate about myself?
And I'd like to see you again next week too, if you don't mind.
This is my biggest nightmare. I go on David Letterman and he makes a list of what everybody hates.
But now I understand that because I don't like looking at myself, but in myself it's genuine. I'm unpleasant looking.
No.
But you. No.
It's
You're a lovely woman and a fine actress, so there you go. Yeah. So you go to these premieres, and by the way, they've had 4. Thanks for no invitations. But what do you have to get up and say something to the folks?
No, thank God. I've out of 5. How many was it?
I read 4, but
4. I've tripped in 2 or 3 of them, like massive trips.
What is it? Red carpet nonsense? What is that?
Oh, it's so scary. And then I end up getting so nervous that I get like now, I get really hyper, and then I'm like, ah! And I get really hyper. So then I go in interviews, and I'm like a chihuahua, I'm shaking and peeing. And then afterwards, I'm like, I just talked about peeing on the red carpet.
You know what?
Let's put together list. It's just not a situation for a normal person like this.
I'd like to see you twice a week, if you don't.
And
But
then I
it
get
is-
halfway through the red carpet and like somebody goes suck in and I'm like, great.
Somebody
It's
says
only
what?
the first suck in because I've gone through like I get
Lord.
out of the car and I'm like, hey. and then I walk half the red carpet and then the other half I'm sucking in, but then I wonder about the other half of the pictures, which is the end of me Googling myself.
Listen, what about your family? Are they supportive?
No. Well, I mean, yeah. They're just. I mean, they have fun. I don't. They're never like, you know. Both of my brothers were like, before I went on the red carpet, I'm so nervous. They're like, do shots, do shots. I'm like, that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. And then I did it, and then that led
Well,
to
you
like,
did it.
I'm peeing in my pants on the red carpet because my brothers are like, it's fine, do some shots. So they're supportive in their own kind of way.
Yeah. Are your brothers older than you are?
Yeah.
Now, what was it like, if they're encouraging you now in this regard, what was it like when you were all kids at the house? How did they treat you then?
Well, now they actually talk to me. Before it was more just kind of physical, horrible thing. Now they're getting really supportive. Like when we thought there was a paparazzi outside of my house, and my brother's like, "You want me to throw a skateboard at it?" Because my brother's like, he went inside. He's like, "Let's go throw some eggs and tomatoes at it." And I'm like, "Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it." And then it was just like some parked car that I was like, "That's a paparazzi." Like it wasn't. It was. I just made it up. Yeah.
Did they? Was there a lot of?
I'm not as famous as I think I am.
Did you? Was it a physical, a lot of pushing and shoving with you and your brothers?
Yeah, I've got scars all over my body. Because, yeah, it was, the best part was they would fight each other over who could fight me. Like one time when I told my brother I wanted to try out for like T-ball, he was like, well, first things first, you gotta stop being afraid of the ball. So he tied me up and started throwing tennis balls at my face. And then my other brother came out and hung him up by the fence and then beat me up. and then when I was in the gymnastic phase and I was really, they used to pin my feet back behind my head. I can't do this anymore. And then they would get our dachshunds to do this. And then they'd shut the door, lock me in the basement with dachshunds. It was awful. Yeah, and now, karma, I go on talk shows and tell everybody.
Talk about it. Wow. Wow. Well, I'm gonna make two calls, Jennifer.
Thank you.
The first one will be to Amnesty International, and the second, waterboarding, that dachshund, that little dachshund deal. Well, now I'm really excited. Yes, this, because I feel like I want to see, I got to have more of this. I want to see, is this kind of your character?
No.
Oh.
No. I was thinking the exact opposite. I was like, nobody's going to want to see that idiot swinging from trees and like shooting bow and arrows.
Wow.
Sorry. Everybody, it's good.
Yeah,
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
God, I'm going to get fired.
No, you're fine. Have you thought about a prescription? Just a small dose. Just
Oh my
like a
God.
5 milligrams.
I went on David Letterman and he told me to get on medication.
Yeah.
This is...
Now let's Jennifer, let's look at a clip here. Tell us what we're going to see.
Okay. What?
I said.
I don't know what clip you're
That's
doing.
all right. Well,
Oh, yes, I do. This is the scene. This is
is it the
clip.
dachshunds?
This is,
I hope to God it's the dachshunds.
This is the scene. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is with Stanley Tucci when I have to do the press junket for the Hunger Games.
Okay, here we go. The Hunger Games. Jennifer Lawrence.
We were all very moved, I think, when you volunteered for her at the reaping. Did she come and say goodbye to you?
Yes, she did.
And what did you say to her in the end?